Hi everyone, my name is Abhishek Jain, and through this video, we're just gonna understand basics of how to create self-signed certificate authority, then how to create certificate authority signed certificate, which we can use for some internal testing or some development. But I won't recommend to use the same certificate authority and the server certificate in production environment, right? So don't use it. It is just for you to make understand. And like, I mean, if you have your RESTful API server or the GRPC server, wherever you want to need, wherever you have a need for secured connection between two parties or two nodes, basically, then you can use this just for the testing or the internal development perspective, right? So let's jump into the demo part and see how GPT can help us to understand and create those TLS keys and certs, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ask a very simple thing, how to generate self-signed certificate authority with Openssl. And here the Openssl, I mean, if you want, we can ask this question as well, like, what is Openssl, right? And then we can ask, I mean, how we can create a self-signed certificate authority with Openssl, right? Openssl, so it's an open source software library through which we can, implement a secure communication between nodes, basically. And it just provides us some of the commands, right, through which we can generate them. So first, Openssl, if you just see, it says that generate PK, which is a private key and algorithm. We are going to use RSA, and it is going to give us a CA.key, right, which is going to be considered as a private key. Then we are going to use this command, which actually going to create us a self-signed CA certificate, right? So let's jump into the PyCharm, which I'm going to use. We'll go to the terminal part. And as always, we are not going to change anything. Whatever we have, we just keep copy pasting here. Okay, so it just going to create. So let me reload from the rest. So it seems like we already have CA key, which just got created. Then we're gonna create a self-signed certificate. Okay, so now it is asking for country name. I can give IN, state, I can give UP, city, any city you want to use, organization name, XYZ, organization unit, ABC, common name. This is very important. So you have to just keep in mind that you are going to use this name, based on what exactly you want to use, because what happens is whenever, the host name verification is required, the common name and the SAN is something which actually gets used. But right now we should not be worried about that. Once we reach to the point where we really need to understand the uses of common name and the subject alternative names, then definitely we can talk about them. For example, right now I can just give this localhost email address again, xyz@gmail.com. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? You can give whatever name you want. Let me just reload from this. So now we have the CA.cert as well. So we have CA key and CA cert, which is self-signed certificate. So this is gonna be acting as a certificate authority for us now. And now what we're gonna do is we are going to create, server-side certificate. So let's assume that we wanted to enable a TLS or the secured connection on the GRPC server, right? So basically we have to create a server-side certificate, and we're gonna create a client-side certificate as well. And we're gonna use this certificate authority, which we just created, right? To create the server-side certificate and the client-side certificate, right? But for now, you can copy this command, and if you want, you can run this command as well, right? Because that would actually help us to read through, what we have in cert, right? So basically what we are doing is, again, we are using Openssl with option X509. What we are inputting as ca.cert and text and then node. So basically what we are doing here is, if you just see whatever values we have given, right? So for example, we have given this issuer, right? India, state, then local, organization unit, CN name, right? Blah, blah, blah. So we have all these information here, right? And right. So I think these are the three commands through which we can easily generate a self-signed certificate authority, right? The next thing is, which we have to do is we have to, how to generate server side certificate, but server side certificate with self-signed certificate authority, right? And to link the solution, I think I would suggest what we should do is generate, okay? How to generate a server-side certificate with the self-signed certificate authority, created and suggest solution. So let's see what we get. Okay, so now if you just see, we are using the same command, but this time rather than creating a ca.key, we are creating a server-side private key with this command. So let's copy this and let's run, open a terminal. Let me just pull this. Clear it. In CLS. That's so this is gonna create a server.key. Working in Unix, Linux environment of the Windows, that always makes you confused. So now we have server.key as well. Now, if you remember, when we created our self-signed certificate authority, we didn't create any CSR. CSR is nothing but a certificate signing request. What does it mean? That we just gonna create a CSR, which we gonna feed into the next command where we're gonna use a self-signed certificate authority to allow certificate authority to say that, okay, this CSR is being signed by me, and it will have a CA related information in the output certificate for server.csr, right? So let's copy this part. This is, and let's copy, paste here. Again, it is asking, so we can give same name. It's not that you have to use the same name. It could be anything, whatever you want. REY, right? You localhost, keep an attack, gmail.com. Okay. Please enter the following extra attributes to be sent with certificate request. Keep it company name. Just don't provide anything if you don't want some additional things to be happen there, right? So now it looks good because we have CSR created. Now we can see we have a CSR created. Now, if you just see the next command, right, which will give you the exactly what is going to happen, right? So let's let me clean this up and let's open this command, right? So what it is doing, if you just see here, we are inputting a server.csr, then we are giving a CA, which is, pointing to the CA certificate, then CA key, which is pointing to the private key of certificate authority, right? We should not be worried about this for now because it just get created a serial, and when we revoke the certificate at that point of time, or it get expired at that point of time, we used to use it. But for now, you can just ignore it. And it is outputting as server.crt. So basically, if I just reload this, right? So we have this server.crt created, right? And this server.crt actually being signed by, not signed basically, yeah, signed by, the certificate authority, right? Which we created as a self-signed certificate authority, right? So this is how you actually create this, right? Now, if you want to, enable a secured connection. So basically you have to use this TLS, certificate to enable on server side. So for example, we just wanted to keep it very simple, right? So let's assume that, we want to enable this on a GRPC server, right? Okay, so how to set up TLS enable GRPC server in Python, right? So let's see what we're gonna get. I think I already published one video, where we created a simple GRPC server without TLS, right? So now we have, us, everything with us. So we can, copy paste the code which we already have probably. So let me check if I can bring, the code which we have written in, the video. I think this one. Archive. Oh, yeah. So I think we have this, right? So probably it would be a good idea to use this. Plus GRPC. Okay, so let me copy and paste it here. Okay, so we have this example proto. Okay, so we have client, first GRPC, which is my server. This one, my client. Okay, so now, sorry, coming back here, right? So let's see what we have to do, right, from the code perspective, right? Probably a good idea would be, let's copy paste everything rather than, uh, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna save. So basically, we are just following blindly what we are getting here. So I'm just installing the Python libraries, created a protobuf. Okay, so this looks good. We can copy this and package resources. So basically, this is service.proto, whereas we have example.proto. So what we can do is we can refactor it to be like proto, refactor it. Factor. Okay, good. Let's see. Okay, so deprecating warning. Okay, we should be not worried about this package resource. We can always handle this. So now we have service proto. So we okay, so we have our code generated for service underscore pv2 and service underscore pv2 underscore grpc py. Coming back here, and if I just copy this piece of code, create the server, my service. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create a new Python file and I'm gonna say grpc underscore server underscore TLS. And I'm just gonna copy paste this. This is actually just creating a class, and I think this one is again. So basically, if you just see here, what we are doing here is we are just creating a server, right? And we are saying that, okay, server certificate chain, server cert, okay, server key. Okay, so I think this should be pretty much it, what we need to do. But I know it's going to be fail for the future. So let's see. I know because we have to, I don't want to fix it by myself. And I know it's going to complain about this future, which says future is not defined. And if I just ask this, I think it is going to include the concurrent library, but getting this error when running. So just it. Cool. Okay. So, so okay. So I think that's pretty much it. I think this is asked to include this line, and if we include this line, then we should be good. So let's see. I mean, if it works or not. Missing one required positional argument, which says that server credentials. Okay. So GRPC tool options. Right. So we don't have to worry about anything. We just need to type this error. Type it here. Again, getting to this error. So, so I think this time we should be good. So, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just copy this piece of code, and I'm just gonna save it and clean up. Argument private key has an incorrect type expected by guard string. Let's put this error. So getting error, but it is no. To resolve this, you need to read the content of the server key and the certificate file by passing them to the. Awesome. So again, I'm gonna copy paste here. Save it. I can explain you what's going on here, right? Because I have been dealing with this a lot because I have built so many things, right? Got unexpected argument private key, right? Oh, oh, I know what's going on again, but see, ChatGPT is not doing what it is being hyped, that getting into another error. So it's not very, good, right? To get into error and error again. If you are asking something, then it is again giving one thing or the other, right? So we are getting different errors every time we are running this. To resolve this method, key search by argument instead. Here is the code, right? So I'm 100% sure. Server key, right? I think it should be server cert first. I'm sure it's again not going to work, but let's see. I think now you're getting a sense, right? When someone says that, ChatGPT is going to take away everyone's job, I don't think so, right? So you can understand why I'm saying so, right? It's not that I'm just verbally saying that, but you can see how it is helping us, right? So I think this looks good because we are not getting into any errors. So probably what we can do is, so when it starts, probably we can print some statement here, and we can say that GRPC server is enabled with TLS and secured connection. Yeah. Okay, so if I just okay, so it seems like this code is working, right? So after multiple attempts, we just got to the point where it seems to be working, right? So let's see how we can create a gRPC client. How to create gRPC client to make secure connection as gRPC server is only and secure connection. Okay. So if I do so, then let's see what happens. Okay, so let's do it. Let's copy it. Let's create a GRPC client. GRPC client underscore TLS. Copy paste it. Save. Okay. Create another one. Python GRPC client. Okay. Let's go. Let's see. Hello, John. Right. So this works fine. What happens if I just provide something else? So let's see what happens. Because we are using server cert or CSRs, it's just because both are the same thing. So what we can do to break this, maybe we can create another CSRs, right? And it's canceling this, and rather than having CA, then I can say disconnect using a CA key, but this time the name is going to be different, and I can get US, New York, organization. Okay, so we should be having CA cert. So let's see if I use CA underscore mag cert, what happens? Okay, so now you can see status code failed to connect to all addresses. Let's see what we are getting here, right? So there is nothing is happening, and but client is not able to get connected because it says that handshake failed with a fatal error. Right? So if we use a different CSR, then it is failing. Same thing we can do with the server side certificate as well. We can create another server certificate which is signed by this C underscore nag, and then we can use here, and again it is going to be failed, right? So this looks pretty good, at least for getting a sense. I mean, how this secured connection happens when client wants to get connected to the server side, which is enabled with the TLS, right? So this looks good, but don't worry, ChatGPT is not going to take away any of the jobs. It's just that it is going to make you more efficient, right? Uh, Probably once we have more intelligence, because what it is doing, it is just when you are saying that, okay, you are getting into this error or that error, right? So what it does is it's just go back and just try to get the solution, right? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, right? So I cannot say with 100% confidence that it is something which we as a software engineer has to worry about. Rather, we have to use this as a complement for us or as a helper tool for us. Because if you don't have this ChatGPT kind of tool, then you have to search everything on a Google, and you will get uh, hundred and thousand of links. I don't know which one you have a proper information, but you know this, right? Whatever error you are getting, you can just post it here and you get some kind of solution, and you can try with them, right? Um, Probably we can have some more complicated scenario and see how ChatGPT works. So probably in the next video, what we can do is we can just try to enable a mutual TLS, connection between server and client, where not only server is going to validate the certificate, but client is also going to validate the certificate from server. So probably that we can do in the next video. Thanks for watching this. If you have any feedback or suggestion, feel free to put that into the comment section. And if you want me to cover any specific topic, right, just please feel free to put that in comment, and I would love to just cover that topic as well if I have any information and or I think that I can work on that topic to provide you some knowledge or some information which would be helpful for everyone, right? So thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning on new things as always. Okay.